Hey, my name's PJ Aubrey, host of the mental health podcast, A Survivor's Guide to Hell. I just wanted to give a big shout out to my buddies over at Decriminalize Nature. They made a huge impact on our episode this week, and I wanted to share that with you. Psychedelic medicine for nature lovers and science lovers alike. You're hearing one of the saddest parts of research. A poor group of mice experiencing a series of electric shocks in the name of science. This is a dramatization, of course. In the actual experiment, each of these beeps is actually accompanied by an electric shock, zapping the mouse and quickly training it not just to fear the zap, but the beep that it comes with. In other words, these mice were intentionally given PTSD. But, lucky for them, it's not the only thing they were given. Researchers injected the mice with psilocybin, the same chemical that gives users a psychedelic trip when they consume magic mushrooms. Yep, these little guys were tripping. What happened next was mind-boggling. The mice, who had been terrified of that beep noise, even when there was no longer any electric shock to go with it, they now seemed at peace. The mice didn't have little rodent therapists to help them overcome their fears. Rather, a round of psychedelic drugs had, as the research put it, extinguished their fears. The researchers didn't want to base their conclusions off mere observation. The mice didn't seem afraid, but they wanted more evidence to confirm the attitude shift. So it was that the researchers literally counted the mice's brain cells. Sound hard? It is. Not only had the mice overcome their fear of the beep thanks to the psilocybin, portions of their brain had grown. Remember how we talked about the amygdala growing in long-term cases of PTSD? Well, now we have more positive areas of the brain expanding in your emotional favor. Many studies now indicate that psilocybin and other psychedelic drugs enable neurogenesis in the human brain too. The brain can actually grow back. This is fantastic news for long-term sufferers of PTSD, whose brain cells may have experienced damage from prolonged anxiety and fear. Psychologists used to believe that the brain couldn't regenerate, but we are now seeing that psychedelics are like freshly fallen snow on a well-worn ski slope. It helps to cover the negative pathways and secure a fresh start. Psilocybin is non-addictive. Overdose is nearly impossible. It grows in nature and can be consumed unprocessed. And it has wildly successful rates of treating PTSD and other mental illnesses in just one dose. Still, it remains illegal in most states, which is incredibly sad and incredibly suspicious, if you ask me. Still, if this option sounds as promising to you as it sounds to me, here are some potential solutions to help you legally access medicinal psychedelics. Option A, ketamine. Ketamine is a psychedelic, very similar to magic mushrooms' psilocybin. It's legal with a prescription and is particularly effective when administered intravenously. A less potent and less expensive alternative to ketamine injections is a mail-order ketamine. You'll speak remotely with a specialist who can prescribe and send ketamine tablets. It is a psychedelic, meaning hallucinations are common, but many people report that these hallucinations help them work through their pains and traumas. Another option for accessing psychedelic therapy is to do it in a legal area. Psilocybin has been decriminalized in a handful of states and is completely legal in countries like Spain. For many, traveling for psilocybin is out of the question. However, there may be medical research in your area where professionals can legally administer psilocybin and other psychedelics for research purposes. Our last recommendation for accessing psychedelic therapy is legalize nature. The growing movement, Decriminalize Nature, speaks for itself. It advocates for the decriminalization of psychoactive plants and fungi. This may be the slowest route to getting you those magic mushrooms or whatever psychoactive medicinal substance you're looking for, but it's worth a mention. Psychedelic mushrooms, marijuana, and other psychoactive plants and fungi have incredible health benefits with much fewer side effects than traditional pharmaceuticals. If you'd like to influence the perspective around criminal plants, visit decriminalizenature.org.